Hello, you're speaking to the Western Wonder based in Westernwood. If you have nothing interesting to talk about, please feel free to leave a message after the beep.
Hey boss man, it's your best employee on the block you're speaking to.
Oh boy, good old Jeff. By what pleasure do I have of receiving this phone call on such an action-packed week?
Oh, don't act like you forgot about our bet we made.
First of all, I was being sarcastic. Second of all, what bet?
For the Godzilla vs. Kong movie, buddy. What else could I be talking about?
Okay, but what bet?
For the gods...
I'm not asking what we're betting on. I'm asking what bet and when was this mutually agreed upon?
The other day when we were...
Jeff, I was probably joking at the time. Not serious. I thought you knew your boss at this point.
Well,
But since we're on the topic of Godzilla vs. Kong, I'm curious to know, who are you rooting for exactly?
I know you put our conversations at the beginning of your reviews.
What? Me? No.
Yes, you. So for once, let's just make this conversation private between us, okay?
All right, go ahead.
So the reason why I haven't clocked in yet today is because I'm on the way to the movie theater.
Okay.
And, don't be surprised when you hear this, but I'm pretty much rooting for King Kong to win this match.
Interesting. You haven't actually betted your money against someone else, have you?
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't.
Well, all I can say is that you might be terribly disappointed with the result.
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. If you don't mind, I have to end this conversation. Duty calls for editing my cold opens before my review.
But I thought you said you wouldn't.
Yeah, I was just kidding about that too.
I'm telling you, if you put this out as your cold open for that review, I'm gonna have a nice reservation for you in Pelican Bay.
Have fun and enjoy the movie. Welcome to the Western Reviews review of Godzilla vs. Kong, only on the Western Reviews podcast. Let's get ready to rumble with our two boxers today. Here is your master of ceremonies, the Western Wonder. Thank you, British announcer guy. That is right, folks. I'm the Western Wonder, and today I'll be reviewing one of the most anticipated action films from the first half of 2021, Godzilla vs. Kong. It should be interesting, wouldn't you agree? Before I get into today's review, I'll play a bit of the movie trailer and, like I've done in previous episodes, shout out my own socials at the beginning of my reviews. So, if you would be kind, please be sure to follow the show on Instagram, which is at Western Reviews Official, or on my Twitter, which is at reviews_Western. Some updates on when reviews will drop, as well as other upcoming projects will be posted there. Let's get into the review with the trailer, and I'll be back shortly.
This is our only chance. We have to take it. We need Kong. The world needs him to stop what's coming. And this child, she's the only one he'll communicate with.
I knew that they had a bond. She had nowhere to go, so I made a promise to protect her. And I think that in some way, Kong did the same. Godzilla.
Alright, so here's the plot, from the Western point of view. I will warn you though, You may want to watch the movie first to understand some parts of my review, as I try to make it as spoiler-free as possible. Let me just open this envelope and throw it away. Sorry about that. I guess my paper has made it still as it makes the big guy roar. Anyways, the story continues the storyline of the previous Godzilla film, as an organization plans to safely move Kong, there's no king in his name, to another space on Earth, as two monstrous titans can't exist in the same stratosphere. Meanwhile, another organization has ruffled the feathers of a low-key Godzilla, and is up to a team of scientists to stop them from making a major mistake. I'm gonna be very honest here. Coming into this movie, I really wasn't focused on the story, let alone the human characters. While the human cast, led by Alexander Skarsgård, Millie Bobby Brown, Tyree Henry, Eiza González, and Rebecca Hall, amongst others, did their fine part of the movie, I, just like mostly everyone who watched this film, was fixated on the action parts of the plot that were heavily advertised leading up to the movie's release. The Godzilla vs. Kong fight scenes. Taking a further look into certain aspects of the film, the two departments that really deliver were the sound and the visuals, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this amongst the films considered for Oscar nominations in those fields next year. Every sound you hear throughout the movie makes you feel like you're there, from every footstep to every piercing roar. It's very captivating, to say the least. The visuals are very beautiful, especially during the fight scenes by the film's conclusion. Very colorful, might I add, about those scenes. The whole scenery gives me a mixture of Batman vs. Superman or Justice League plus Transformers vibes, especially when Mechagodzilla, channeling his inner Megatron of sorts, pulls up to the city to cause chaos. The music score complements the vibe and atmosphere of the film just like any other action film would. At times booming and demanding, other times more dramatic and grim. But that doesn't automatically give the film too many extra points in overall rating. Back to the piece of the film that drew me in the first place. The fight scenes. I just want to let everyone know now that this is Kong's time to shine on the big screen, as he has the most screen time over both normal and mechanical Godzillas combined. But when both of their worlds collide on screen again to fight, you can feel the tenseness between the two. But just like I mentioned, since Godzilla's time on screen isn't long, there aren't too many prolonged fight sequences between the two. A minor and slight disappointment there. So, who comes out the winner, you may ask? For audiences, the answer may vary, so I'll say this on my end. Godzilla definitely comes out with the upper hand in the battles. I mean, did you see how his design is built? But in the final battle, both creatures come together to take down an evil foe, for better or for worse. Even their departing glares by the movie's end show that their beef is far from over. But you know, let's just celebrate the teamwork making the dream work for once. Despite not having the upper hand in battles, it was interesting to see a more down-to-earth Kong who willingly bonds with a young deaf child who works as a barrier in communication between Kong and the scientists. You can feel a little bad for him during trying times. For my final rating, I give this movie an 8 out of 10, obviously still revamping my punny ratings. The visuals and sound are true highlights of the movie, followed by the fight sequences. The story could have given humans some better dialogues here and there, but then again, that's just a tiny nitpick that I had. Also, the runtime flows really well. Another bit I wasn't complaining too much about. I would recommend it for viewers that actually want to watch the entire film and not just for the action scenes. While I'd say for those that don't want to watch it for the story and only for the action sequences, you'd be better off waiting for compilation videos on YouTube or wherever video hosting service you use. Regardless of standpoint, Godzilla vs. Kong is good for the visual and one of the biggest moneymakers during this panoramic, and rightfully so. I'm the Western Wonder, and that's a wrap on yet another movie review. Stay tuned for my next review of Major Pain. I've not seen this movie in a while, so it should be interesting to see if it still holds up or not. But before I go, I want to mention two things. Number one, my upcoming secondary music podcast, which is called Two Grumpy Music Snobs. So the scenario is basically two grumpy guys I've known for a long time sitting down for a roundtable discussion on some of the most well-known music artists and some of the lesser-known music artists from previous decades. The old dudes may have some more to add on that themselves in the next review or two, so you don't want to miss these upcoming things coming out here on the Western Reviews podcast. The podcast will premiere in June. And number two, don't forget to follow me on my socials if you want to get updates on when things are coming out or other interesting tidbits that come out. On my Instagram, you can follow me at Western Reviews Official or on my Twitter at Reviews_Western. Hope everyone out there is safe and being wary of any Godzilla or King Kong or shoot, even Bigfoot sightings. Oh, and there's my cue again. Western Wonder out.
King Kong ain't got on me!